Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? Hello, Richard, Robert, Victor, GB19, Sean, Devin's forearm, Engin Terzi, the revered arm wrestling legend, Anthony, Philip, Sarijiva. Okay, guys, some of the names. World's Strangest Man. These sources will be once every month. Is that a possibility for the future? It totally depends, like I can do it only if you guys want to see that and support me. Pauline Ömer, Engin hocam sayısız podcast ve bilek güreşi yaptığınız numaralarını çok ne demek aslan kardeşim benim. Çok teşekkür ederim sana. Yeah. Hello, Eric. This is one of the biggest John Brzenk fan. I promised him that I was gonna invite him. Yuan, thank you, hacker dude. Hello, my friends. Yes, I'm fine, David. You hear me, Eric?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, yeah.
Perfect.
So how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you, my friend. I think you are for sure one of the biggest John Brzenk fan. And so you had to be here.
I appreciate that. Not as big a fan as you, but, trying.
Who knows who is the biggest fan, I think that, I know I have been following, your interest by the private messages you send in, mostly about John and your ideas about John. And yeah, so I think that you had to be the biggest John Brzenk fan. So
I saw Pulling John on YouTube. Never trained arm wrestling, never been an arm wrestler at all myself.
And were you fan before? No?
I would see it on ESPN once in a while. I saw over
you were not really following. You were not really following.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The timing was kind of perfect because I watched Pulling John and WAL, came on the scene shortly thereafter. And of course, then Game of Arms. And Travis had a pretty big part in Pulling John.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure how I felt about Travis. He's over the top and very boisterous. And so then Game of Arms came out, and he was the same way. And it really piqued my interest and curiosity. So I've only been really following the sport for probably about 6-7 years, but I really have dove deep into it and watched all the podcasts and everything.
I understand. Soon John will join us.
Okay.
So since then, you have been following. and John is your hero. I remember you have been giving me some suggestions about John,
Yeah,
like to ask the other arm masters what they think about him and things like this. I'm
yeah,
not
that was kind
mistaken,
of
right?
a consistent super chat I would do when you had people on was, what has John Brzenk meant to their careers and what kind of impact that he has on them? And it was very consistent, Everybody says the same thing. He's basically their hero.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Hey,
thank you,
Hello,
Engin.
hello.
It's
How,
Don.
yeah, Dan. How do you exactly pronounce your name? Dan?
Don, yep, that's it. You got it
Dan.
right,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Dan is one of our VIP guests. I shouldn't say guest sponsors for the East versus West 7.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, he will be coming to Istanbul.
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you for the instinct. I mean, it's a great
Thank you for
opportunity to be a fan, right? This is the best way to do it, to show your support.
I need
yes,
to
yes.
find somebody that would travel there with me. Everybody I present it to says that no.
Oh, you mean to split the bill? Yeah, I agree.
Not even necessarily the bill. Just I've got a friend who I've known for 20 years, and he was over here last year helping me do a little project around my farm. And we got to talking afterwards, and my fiance mentioned how obsessed I was with arm wrestling to him. And he said, "You watch arm wrestling?" And I thought, oh boy, here I'm gonna have to explain myself, Turned out he was a huge arm wrestling fan, and he knew Devin Lorette and John and all these guys. And it was very shocking. And I've been trying to convince him to go.
Got it. Got
Okay,
it.
the goat is here.
Oh, hey. Hey, John. Wow. I'm
He's
honored.
disconnecting.
How do I get to everybody? I can see everybody.
There he is.
Hello, John.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Hey,
Haven't used it.
John.
I haven't
Oh,
used this in a
man.
while. What's going on, guys?
Hey, it's
See?
an honor, man. It's always an honor to see the goat.
Pleasure.
You and Devin, man.
Yeah, these guys are hardcore fans, John. So
Oh,
I
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, I have been doing some this kind of things that I bring a superstar, and then like these guys normally follow from the chat room,
All
right?
right.
So I
Right.
just thought that it would be cool to invite them,
Right.
so that they would meet their uh,
Yeah.
favorite arm wrestlers, especially Eric. Eric is probably your biggest fan.
Okay.
Dan is
Cool.
also your fan, but it's divided between Devin and you.
All right. Okay, cool. So
So
what's new in the arm wrestling world?
what is new in arm wrestling world? I heard Alexei Voivoda is making a comeback.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I actually got the phone call from Bob Brown. Hey, are you pulling Alexi? I'm like, to be quite honest, I don't know if I am or not. But if you read it
You
on
don't
the
know?
internet, then maybe it's true. I don't know.
Must be true.
What's going on here? Is this Picking John? Is this called Picking John movie now? This
Yeah,
is this is
yeah.
insane.
Yeah, no,
You
I mean,
know?
it's
God.
I'm glad that they want to test their coming out to on me. I mean, it's I still feel very blessed and honored that I'm relevant enough that they think that I'd be a good test. So it's cool.
No, I see the opposite. They want to motivate you, John. Just kill them,
Yeah.
man. Kill
Yeah,
Alex,
well,
bro.
we'll
Just kill
see.
him.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So it's set for October then. Again, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a specific date in October? Is it beginning of October or the end of
Soon we
October?
will find out. Soon, very soon we will find out. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah. But it needs to be good for you, especially. You are the goat. You need to say that's the green light. Once you give
Yeah.
the green light, we said it.
Well, I don't have anything set up other than my commitment to pull Todd Hutchins in Canada.
July.
As you know,
August 12th. August 12th.
August 12th. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he could definitely put a hurting on me, but I don't think it would would last all the way until October, so I should be okay, right? To pull.
Yeah, it's 2 months. Good
Yeah.
2 months. Yeah.
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 So
And
All you
how
gotta
is
do
your
is a thumb. All you gotta do is a thumb, John. That's
thumb
it,
is
man.
sore still. Yeah, thumb is still sore. I haven't been one of the guys that I trained with in the past it came over to buy my motorcycle yesterday, and he wanted to do a little pulling, and I honestly haven't done anything since my match with Dennis. So I knew it's been sore, and I just wanted to kind of lay off on it, but we did a little bit of pulling, and of course, if I'm turning inside, it's not bothersome at all. But as soon as he went outside, I was like, oh shit, it's still, you know,
that happened because of the accident, right?
from snowmobiling. Yeah, I overextended it. I just basically came on the handlebars and jammed my thumb, because your thumb's open because that's where the throttle is at. So your hand is in this kind of position, and I jammed the throttle, and it just twisted my thumb and wrist back. It just, so yeah, just basically overextended it. But yeah, I feel it. I still feel it in the lower joint, and then all the way into my wrist through here. So
yeah, Eric, do you have any question?
John, you haven't pulled Alexei since Zloty Tour, right?
yeah, that
19
was
years.
and I don't even know what
2000
year that was.
2004.
2004, 2005. Yeah, I mean, he was very short-lived. I mean, I never really got a chance to I mean, nobody really had a chance to pull him much after that. I don't think he competed too much, did he? Yeah. I mean, you would know better
think
than I
he came back and pulled Michael Todd in 2007.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
And then he pulled Tim Brzenk like some years ago.
Yeah, just a few years ago. Yeah, that was kind of his comeback thing. But
yeah,
shoot, that's almost coming up on 20 years, right? Yeah, 18, 19 years. It's amazing that yeah. Time flies.
You won't have a war with Taurus beforehand, so I suspect it'll be a better day for you.
No, Eric, it was not like that. I think that match was before.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. The tough match was after Alexei won against Taras and John, and then send them to B side, and the tough match was on the B side. But it was different on the movie.
On the movie.
I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, I should have pulled Taurus. I know I pulled Taurus once or twice, at least once before I pulled Taurus. Probably the harder time in the overall. So yeah, Ingen is probably correct that I did pull Taurus before that, but I think the tough one that everybody sees where he ends up taking my hand and wrist was during the overalls.
Overalls B side, yeah. You beat him easy in the weight category, 95 kilo.
Right.
Yeah, and you control him and beat him, and then you he sent Rambeth to B side, and you send Taras to B side, and then Ron also beat him with a dead wrist.
Dead wrist, right?
And yeah. And then in the overalls, you pull John and Taras. You pull Alexei, and then Taras pull Alexei, and the B side, Taras took you down here, and then you.
Yeah, Alexei, no matter what kind of shape he's in, which I'm assuming he's going to be in very tip-top shape.
Good shape, yeah.
Seeing that Tim actually beat him, I'm sure he's very aware that there's arm wrestlers out there that, if he's not in top condition, can beat him. But he'll be a tough challenge for me just because his hand and wrists are as strong, if not stronger, in the areas that I normally dominate in my matches. So doing what I normally would do to 90% of the people, I'm not going to be able to do to Alexei. I'm almost going to probably have to develop my hooking ability, and maybe possibly try to, make sure that it gets turned into a hook at some point in the match, because pronating through his hand. I mean, maybe Devin could do it. There's very few people I think that will be able to do it.
I think your pronator is good enough for that. I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll try.
If you put the game to the neutral wrist position, because he is good when he is using his wrist. Like some people like me, the same. We need to have the cupping.
Right.
But you can still pull this way. If you come to the same point like that, you put Irakli, then you just need to neutralize.
I've kind of evolved into that kind of arm wrestler. I've never really been good at that knuckles high back pressure type put pressure on my opponent's wrist for a length of time to try to, to break through. But it has worked in the last, well, I seem to run out of gas. It's not my old style where I would just dominate through like
Yeah,
a poker style
yeah.
top roll. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll be excited to do it for sure. It's still
I
a
saw
ways
you
away.
doing this during those Taras matches. The Taras was all the time. He's incredible top roller. So he
Yeah.
was hitting from there. So instead of trying to catch him and lose everything, you were also pronated, and you
Right.
even you didn't have super wrist control. You were still beating with a pronated side pressure.
Right.
Those years, I remember you started develop, and I saw you doing the same exact thing to Denis Siplenko when you beat him in 2009. He was pulling, and you were
Right.
still
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I couldn't quite pull that off in Dubai. I mean, I felt like it was almost there. It was close, but the amount of energy I was expending trying to establish that, I had no gas left in the tank. I mean, he's in good shape. So it'll be an interesting match to see him and Devin go at it. I have a feeling Devin will be able to outlast him though.
Okay, John, I have a question for you. Since Dennis will have extra, say, almost 8 months to train for Devon, we can expect that he will also come back a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
In this case, how do you see that match?
I still see, from what I felt from Dennis, I mean, of course, if he gets a lot stronger, then that's maybe possibly a different story. But I feel like Devin will be able to do what I was somewhat able to establish a lot better, a lot stronger, and Devin won't fatigue. He won't wear out. So I don't think Dennis going to have to develop a tremendous amount of cup, and he doesn't commit to hooking. He's kind of committing with his hand strength, but also staying outside. And I don't think you can outlast Devin doing that game. I think Devin will outlast him. But yeah, we'll see. I guess time will tell.
But it looks like it's gonna be a long war.
Yeah, I just don't think Dennis is hit. He's going to have to really establish a good cup with Devin to be able to make his hit work. If his wrist is compromised at all, I'm not saying broke back, but just even flat, I don't think he possesses the power to beat Devin.
Another question. We always see that Devin does his movement, and then he always has some cup in here, yeah, some wrist.
Yeah.
But because of Dennis is also incredible lat and pronator, I'm sure that he will become stronger. What if he also neutralizes Devin's wrist? Will Devin be as effective as he is against the other guys when he is finally having his wrist? Well, what if he stays like this? Will he be the same as effective like the other matches?
I think so, just because of the Devin's build. He's taller, he's got longer levers. He can actually naturally kind of almost relax there without putting a lot of different pressure or changing the pressures up quite a bit because of his dominance on his the height. So I think he's always going to have the high ground on Dennis. And like I said, Devin's endurance is off the chart. So I don't see him failing that respect. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to flash Dennis. But I think he'll definitely outlast him.
Yeah. The only thing on my mind that will Devin be the same if he somehow loses his wrist? His endurance will be as effective.
And I don't think he will lose his wrist. I think Devin is strong enough and smart enough to even pull. If his hand and forearm and his cup went away, his pronator will still be there and he'll have the high ground. Yeah,
that's for sure. He will have his pronators because you were able to protect your pronators whenever Dennis was trying to go. You were also stopping him. I saw that. Yeah. But I kind of think that after I saw Dennis's some training videos and
obviously it depends on which Dennis shows up. I mean, if it's a Dennis that's the monster that pulled Devin left-handed, then all bets are off. I mean, then I think
but even Devin is not the same Devin 2008.
Devin's way stronger, but I think that Dennis could possibly just overpower him and put Devin in a, you know, his cup would be so strong. He's gonna have to have the type of cup that Levon has. I mean, that's the thing that is gonna need to be there to shut Devin's, you know, pronator move, you know, down right now. He's developed that one specific, you know, spot with that back pressure and that pronator that it shuts down 99% of the arm wrestlers. I don't care how strong they are. You got to have that hand and wrist and cup to be there to be able to establish your arm strength. If Dennis can do that, then yeah, Dennis is plenty strong enough to beat him. I think his limiting factor will be his hand, obviously, right?
So you are saying that there is no way that Dennis can beat Devin purely outside move. He needs to control Devin's pronator and dominate him with side pressure.
Yeah. And he's going to have to be quite a bit stronger. I mean, I don't even think that Dennis, if he hooked Devin, it was able to hook Devin, I don't think he'd be able to pin him. I didn't feel that from Dennis. Like it wasn't overwhelming his hook power. So
do you think that he changed his pulling style a little compared to before, that he was holding and more like this? Now he's
I never got a chance to pull him very much after our, you know, super match. I mean, he beat me, I think, a couple 3 years later in an Zloty overall. Yeah, I never really got a chance to just, you know, see what he was all about in the 10, 12, 15 years that he was real dominant. So it's hard to know. It's hard to say. I mean, I saw him, I mean, even when he was in his quote unquote prime Dennis shape, I mean, he struggled with Michael Todd, he struggled with Richard Lupkis.
Chaffee.
So yeah, I mean, there was he was a normal guy, right? I mean, there was guys that could be competitive against him, and you know,
he always struggled with Pushkar, even though at the end he beat him, but always a problem always ended up here, and then from there with pronation.
Right. So he wasn't just so incredibly super dominant like Levon is currently. So
yeah. Guys,
he might not be far off from what he used to be then. So I mean, most of us go by the looks, right? And we just see, oh, remember back then how big he was, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he was a stronger, better arm wrestler.
I think Devin prepared for Dennis with that thumb exercise. I mean, this all planning for Dennis, in my opinion, because John, the way he. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's completely changed and established super strong. It's not a king's move anymore. It's just a super strong pronation in an upright position that's going to just shut down 99.9% of all the best arm wrestlers. Even if they are stronger, they can't use their strength because of that pronation that Devin's established.
And Eric, what do you think about this subject?
I think Devin's only susceptibility that I see is somebody that's really strong out of the gates, like a Prudnik and a Levon. I think if he gets into a long game, there's not many people on the planet that can beat Devin Lorette in his current form. You know,
and someone needs to be strong enough to cup him, and then because of his long levers, get his palm this way, and then be able to roll on his hand completely. So it's going to almost need to be like a hook, almost a drive down cup to get rid of that pronator. So move it from this point to this point, and then he's top rollable. But yeah.
There are two.
Prudnik couldn't do it. So I don't know if there's anybody other than Levon that's got that commitment to cup and then roll, cup and then top roll.
John, I don't think that, you know, it is that possible to cup him like this. You know, when you try to cup him like this, if Devin has any opportunity to cup you a little bit, you are going into the trap that, you know, he will be even hitting you harder. So my belief is that even you want to cup him, you need to not to get out of his overpronation, but you need to a little bit keep here tight with your pronator to keep his wrist neutral position, because when your wrist is like this, you can generate much stronger pronation. When your wrist is like barely holding you, it is hard to, you know.
I didn't say it was going to be easy, but I just know from experience that top rolling Devin in an outside move when he's still kind of flat handed at all is a near impossibility. He's going to outlast anybody doing that. You have to establish the driving and putting his hand out.
No, I didn't answer you. It's gonna be easy, but I just want to say that I think the best way to help someone, like you need to apply some back pressure to keep his wrist flat and then cup.
And then
you know,
it, yeah.
yeah. Because if you are letting here a little bit loose, the guy is gonna
right.
pull you there.
I don't think it matters. If somebody was able to really establish and get down on his wrist where he had to commit to a hook, I mean, it's going to be a lot harder to top roll him from that completely wound in position.
Because
but
more you go like this, more he is able to pull you to his side. So that's why I think that you need to keep you a little bit tight, let to let, and then you will kind of stop him to drag you, because more you dive, more he's pulling you to his angle.
Right. I just know what's effective for me.
Yeah.
I'll leave it as that. I got it in my brain. I know exactly what I would have to do.
The way that you pull him in Dubai, the round one, you went that way. You went with the pronator control. From here, your wrist start to like.
Yeah, I didn't have the hand and wrist, the cup to really shut down that pronator as much as I needed to.
But did you remember his wrist was also a little bit moving back, when he came here, Yeah. Right. And Devin told me that you had an opportunity for a second to just to do transition and then press him. I don't know.
Press. Yeah. No, my brain was all messed up. I had told myself if he had stopped the match that I was going to just give up and then do another restart, but I let it go, even just seconds too long, and it was the end of me. So I should have been more aggressive on the first match and just try to establish a win some way somehow. But
just think, John, that it is 1999, and then John, I'm pulling today's Devin. You would pull as you said, you would just a little bit go like little bit hook and then run it out.
Yeah, the hand and wrist just has to be a lot stronger for Devin. I mean, I think my arm is plenty strong still. It's just establishing that correct position with the hand and wrist and forearm. I mean, it's still key in the sport.
And another question: you brought him like that close to pad round one, and you were just making comeback. It was like probably 4 months or 5 months after you made a comeback. Just imagine that 2006 Vegas, John. You remember those years, and to me that would end on the path, But the question that I will ask you, like if it was a 6-round super match, like how do you think
even then, it would be very tough. I mean, obviously I was in probably one of the best shapes of my life, believe it or not, even though I was only 220 at the last time we pulled in Vegas in 2015-16. I came in actually training with weights. I was like 8 months of doing everything I could do to be, and I was in really good shape. And he obviously beat me the second match of the day. And I was like that son of a gun, he's gonna beat me again and outdo me. And 6 rounds, even that Devin at 220, it would have been tough to beat, and I was in the very best shape of my life. So he's gonna be extremely tough.
Right?
I mean,
hard to beat him for rounds.
Six rounds is just suits him so well, his strengths.
Yeah. There is another super chat, Jeremy Coleman. Thanks for all you do, Engin. John, you should start an arm wrestling apparel and call it Goat Gear.
Goat Gear. Great idea. The Goat Gear.
Yeah. John has unlimited opportunities if he truly wants to retire. He can do YouTube and live off of super chats.
Right. I know.
He could probably license his name to handles. He could have an apparel line. I think John's got more opportunity than he gives himself credit for.
Yeah, my mind
agree.
is my mind is still, I guess, back in the what I know arm wrestling was 10, 15, 20 years ago. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that there's actually thousands of people out there that follow and enjoy arm wrestling. I still feel like I'm kind of still in the era of there's not very many people out there.
Well, John, I think you're thinking it the wrong way. In a businessman point of view, if you could have 60% of something, it's better than 100% of nothing, right? So have a partner who does 40% of all the marketing, apparel, they do all the organization. You just sell your brand, your name, that's it. You make 60%, they make 40%. They'll ride a wave and you make the money. I mean, that's passive income.
If anybody's approached me on those kind of ideas, I've always been very open, like just, hey, yeah, go for it. So I don't know if I would do it myself. I mean, I'd have to distribute it, right? I'd have to be
I
did the free t-shirts for a couple of years back when we were doing the Ingen John thing, Ingen, if you remember, and that's kind of a pain in the butt. I mean, that's too much work.
John is not that type of guy. John likes to do what he wants to do. Just like
my free time is very important to me, and you can call it being lazy, but I just I value my quiet time, my privacy, and my free.
Especially now, right? Then maybe like 15, 20 years ago, you would have probably
be more of a go-getter, right?
Yeah, more. It would excite you to do something. Right now, I see that you want to be with your family, grandkids. Go there, go. Yeah. This is what it is. I think that this is what fits you the best as of now. Just arm wrestle whenever you want. Have a vacation whenever you want. Just not like, like full-time arm wrestling. I remember what you just posted and you said there is another world outside of arm wrestling.
Yeah.
That gives so much idea about how you feel right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wish I had the excitement and the motivation that I did in the team around me to really hold me accountable to train every, at least once a week or twice a week. But yeah, that's also kind of, maybe it's my fault too, that I don't establish that.
Any plan? Any plan moving from Arizona to somewhere else?
No, I like Arizona. I really like Arizona. In fact, I would love to see my family from Utah move down here eventually, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't see myself moving from Arizona. When I retire, when I leave Delta, maybe I'll get out of the valley and maybe move out in the country a little bit more. There's no reason to be in the city when you don't have to, commute to a job. But I do.
I got a question.
Shoot.
Go ahead.
So John, like based on your recent match with Onagarbaev, Iraqi, that you lost to, it seemed like the mindset is your main problem, right? You say you had to come in with a plan, and then you scrub that plan in the middle of the match, and then you went with another plan you think is better. Could it be that you are your own worst enemy when it comes to a matchup in the middle of the match? Because you have a plan on the
Dan, who told you that he changed at the middle of the match this strategy?
Yeah, both of my matches with both of my matches with Onagarbaev and Orekli were about basically just running out of gas. I just ran out of energy. Onagarbaev, I mean, I lost. I just feel like in my own mind, maybe people will argue with me, but I felt like I lost it just because of the second round. I didn't get a good, clean, aggressive, offensive start with him on the second round, and then I continued to fight from a bad position that I thought that I could still recover from and win. And I don't have the gas tank like I did in my younger years, where I, especially in a 6-round format where I'm back up at the table, gripping up in a minute and a half. It's just not there anymore. It's not in the cards for anymore. So I was very frustrated with Onagarbaev because I felt like if I stayed crisp and I was fresh, I had the chance to win even 3 matches against him. But because of that second one and in the way I continue to fight and thinking, okay, I can still pull this off, it basically messed me up. Orekli, I went into a little smarter, knowing that was going to be the case. But
it was a surprise, right?
Here again, I just ran out of gas. I felt like once I established that position, I felt like I was in a safe position. I thought I could almost relax. And yeah, I mean, the first time he beat me, it just shocked me that he was committed that hard, and I didn't expect that kind of power. I should have, because Zurab did the same thing to me. So I mean, I knew it was a possibility, but in the past, anytime I've established that, I felt pretty confident, rock solid, where I could just take a breath and just let them bleed themselves out. But so yeah, surprising. But
John,
That was my
yes,
follow-up.
I asked yesterday to Irakli, and he said that it was none of his plans, like he never even thought that he would do such thing. He never even planned, he never even give any possibility for such thing. The question I want to ask you, do you think that when you talk about endurance now, like both before Onagarbaev match and Irakli matches, this, like you had some kind of health issues about breathing, you caught cold, you and I, we keep in touch through WhatsApp. And yeah, okay, you didn't want me to say, but you had that kind of issues.
Yeah.
Do you think that it has anything to do that because you are not at your time right now as good as when you were young, endurance, or did it have to do anything with the condition that you were in those times?
I mean, yeah, the condition maybe had a little bit to do with it, but I'm not going to use that. I mean, I feel like, because even in practice, I can tell, like, in the past, in my younger years, the 30s and 40s, I could arm wrestle for hours and not feel like I've, come down very much. Now I pull for 15, 20 minutes and I'm ready to quit training. I mean, I was like, I'm exhausted, guys. Nothing's working anymore. It's I've got enough work. I feel like I've gotten enough work, and I can't really sustain that lock and that strength to continue pulling for hours. So I know it's me. It's
but your match
I don't
with
know how to fix it.
Corey West, like with Corey West match, you also got out of gas, but you were able to finish. Is it because Corey's endurance wasn't as good as yours, or you think that still, it has had to do anything with your condition at that time?
No, I mean, I felt just as faint with Corey as I did with both Onagarbaev and Irakli. I mean, but all three of those matches, to be quite honest, had me feeling like more than, obviously my muscles, ran out of gas, but I also felt like it was oxygen problem, like my oxygen level wasn't quite what it should be, because I felt actually my head was actually faint. I was like, oh, a little dizzy. I'm gonna fall over, somebody to catch me.
Another question: if 4 months later there is a match that if you win, the condition is only winning, you make $50,000, you lose, you don't make any money. Would you choose to pull Irakli or Onagarbaev? I think you would. I think you would choose Irakli.
I think, Irakli. I think Irakli, that match is super interesting, because I think Irakli is more explosive, but I'm not sure that he's going to be able to establish a good enough hand position to really knock Onagarbaev off that endurance game that I think he possesses. I think he's just as dangerous as Devin is when it comes to endurance. So if the match stops at all, I think Irakli is in big trouble. But I think Irakli could possibly have. I think his hit was better and harder than my hit was. Obviously, he took me off my center of the first match. So I think his ability, his explosivity, and his power exceeds mine. So I think there is a very good chance that he's going to be able to do that to Onagarbaev. But
we will go there. We will go there. Those matches. I was just asking you, but I think that from what I understand, there are problems with Onagarbaev for you, and there are problems with Irakli. But on the paper, it looks easier to fix the problem with Irakli than fixing, because with Onagarbaev, you do not know. That's all about hand position, back pressure to back pressure. It is just like to build the hand maybe harder than you know, being
if I cross that line with Onagarbaev, I'm done. I mean, if I let myself get fatigued at all, I'm done. With Irakli, I still think I can fight a good fight, even though I'm
especially
numb.
now when you know that what can happen. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it'd be
I have a
more.
question on that.
Go ahead, Eric.
From a pride perspective, this for Ingen and John, the intentional elbow fouls. What do you guys feel like that? I've never seen John do that in a losing position. And I feel like that might have just been enough for Irakli to turn that match around. Was the couple times John got him back over to his side and it looked like John was going to secure the round, Irakli gives him an intentional elbow foul. What are your guys' opinions?
It's a
part of the
legal
game.
tactic, though. I mean, right? He's
I
know.
playing within the
Part of the
rules,
game.
and it's everything that. I mean, that's what good athletes do. I wish I was that aware to be able to do that.
You need to go Devin school. That's what
Yeah,
happened, John.
Yeah, there is a super chat. GB19 is Devin versus Dennis the same event as John versus Alexei? Yes.
Oh wow!
Okay. Awesome
Better
news.
pay-per-view cost, Ingen.
I will tell you what, that stage would probably collapse from the greatness.
Oh man.
Yeah,
John, I
yeah.
got another question.
I
You
need
don't
to
mind.
definitely. Dennis is doing a really great job with his social presence. I need to step my game up if I for that match with Alexei. Hopefully Alexei. I know he's kind of somewhat in Dennis's camp now, so I'm sure the excitement will definitely be there for.
Can you imagine
his
the team?
training?
Here, look at here. Devin and John.
Wow.
Dennis and Alexei Voivoda. Wow.
Yeah.
Massive.
Are they going to start training together? I'm assuming Alexei lives somewhat close to Dennis. I just don't know how close.
Let me answer that privately to you.
Okay. All right. We can't make it public. All right, that's cool.
I got a question for John, if you don't mind.
Uh-huh.
John, like I said, back to the question I said with the mental preparation. Have you had any mental preparation in every one of your match? Because every athlete when they Devin's pulling Ganali, right? You could bet that Devin's watching every video how Ganali pulled, and he has a game plan coming in, and then he's gonna execute that game plan without fail. Maybe that's why.
Dan, that question is no, John, because we are gonna now predict the matches.
Yeah.
No,
so but as far as game plans go, I've arm wrestled so long at such a young age that I try not to overthink matches, and especially wear myself out with worrying about how or what I'm going to do. I've learned a long time ago that it's better just to be going in with open mind and just let things just happen naturally and just So I don't think things through it nearly as much as people might think, like, oh, I'm concentrating and studying and game plan and I got all these things that, I mean, I wish I could say I do that, but it's taxing. It wears me out. So I go in and say, whatever happens, and hopefully my experience will just automatically go on autopilot and I'll just do the right things. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way, and you go, "Shit, I wish I would have." But it's all learning. It's all a learning experience. I mean, I hopefully it sticks with me a little bit for the next time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the predictions, and we can end it. Okay, John. Let's start with Rob Vision Jr. Zurab Talberidze.
Oh, yeah. Rob just has to watch video of what happened with Chance. I mean, I think if Rob hits his top roll perfectly, studies and doesn't over top roll, I think he's strong enough and has the tools to possibly flash pin Zurab. If the match stops at all, Rob is going to be in trouble. Zurab is a fighter, and he's not a Jerry Cataret, but he is extremely strong with. Do
you think that even if he top rolls Zurab, he can still press him with that wrist?
No, I think if he over top rolls Zurab will jam like Jerry does with a dead wrist, and it'll be very, very difficult for Rob to win from that point. I think Rob's best chances are to be fluid and that middle ground top roll directly to the pad off the go.
Those 2 rounds that you won against Zurab.
Yeah. Well, and what chance they do them, right? If Zurab stops the match, it'll be tough. So it'll be exciting. I mean, it could go either way. It's but I think it's Rob's to lose. I mean, I think Rob is probably, in my mind, a little bit of the favorite if he does everything right.
Yeah, and Don, how you see that match?
I saw Zurab match. I saw Chaffee match against Rob. If it goes by WAF rule, I think Bob will win because he can't slip under. You know what I'm saying? He can get losing position, he lose. But with the slip, slip go to strap, I think Ray Zurab got this, in my opinion, because the hook, the way his styles with Sasha, the same thing. I don't see how Rob's gonna win. You know, unless Rob comes in super strong, but in my opinion, Zurab win this.
And you, Eric?
I would say it's 50-50. You know, Rob looks like he's training more. He's more dedicated. So I'd certainly like to see Rob win. Zurab is a tough test. So I would say it's a 50-50 either way.
Yeah, John, did you hear about the Zurab's victory in AMC event?
No, huh?
You know, there was you remember there was a Chechnya event?
Okay. I didn't know
And
that, but
they organized it somewhere else this time, and Zurab went there and won 95 kilo, beating all the other guys from Russia.
They give me some big names. I don't know a lot of the big names in the 95 in Russia. But...
And John, Prokopchuk versus Doug Ehrlich.
Oh, that little shit. Daniel, right? It's Daniel, right?
Daniel Prokopchuk.
I just know Daniel. I've never arm wrestled Doug, so I really don't know his strengths or what he has as far as.
You remember his last match against Ray?
Yeah, it looked very good. I mean, super strong.
He said
very
that now
impressive.
he's much stronger because he's coming back. He's just coming back. So he said he's
15%.
It's super hard for me to comment just because I don't know the level, but I know Daniel and I wouldn't want to pull Daniel. I mean, there's certain spots that he could possibly get me into, and I'd be like in bad trouble. So if Doug is able to pull it off, I mean, wow. Daniel.
So you are saying that Doug is
Daniel's
underdog.
In my mind possibly just has to be the favorite just because I just know how freaking strong that dude is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And Don?
I think Doug's the underdog as always, right? Because I think that if we go to the strap, maybe Ray could have been better, but Ray underestimated him that day. And I think Doug is a wild horse because all Daniel preparation and matches are out there. He can study them. Yeah, I'm saying he can study Daniel, see what position he's bad at, what position he's good at, and he can actually get him out of position. So he's an underdog to me. So I think Daniel is 60 and Doug's 40.
And you, Eric?
When I watch Daniel's pulls a lot like Dennis pulled against John. He kind of hangs out here and hangs people up, and I think that's going to be a long day for Doug. I think 70-30. I hate to say it, but I think Daniel's overwhelming favorite.
Daniel can pull in many different styles, top roll, hook, dead wrist.
Yeah.
He
does, but I just noticed he gets people hung out. Just it reminds me a lot of what I saw with Dennis versus John recently.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Corey Miller match. That is how he looked. Yeah.
Specifically,
John, Alijan Muradov versus Cody Merritt.
I can't even pronounce his name, so I don't know anything about is he Russian or where's he from?
You remember the Kazakh guy that pulled Oleg Petrenko left arm?
Oh, okay. I do remember him. Very impressive against Oleg Petrenko.
The guy was 95 kilo, John. He won the WAP super heavyweight. Wow.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oof. So I don't know. Cody's good. I gotta root for Cody, obviously. Just depends on what version of Cody comes in. Cody's been struggling with little aches and pains here over the last 3 years. So if he's full force and healed up, he's a lot to handle. So, but yeah, no, that other kid definitely very.
Do you remember his
impressive
match
against
with Oleg Petrenko?
Oh, of course so. Yeah, and I thought
Very,
Petrenko would.
very impressed by
Oh
his
yeah,
performance.
well, especially when Petrenko just killed Zurab left hand. I thought, well, Oleg's on just another level lefty, and then this other kid beat him. So yeah, no, very impressive.
John, 2 years ago, in a Russian event, this Alijan won the overalls where Morozov was like third or fourth place,
Oh,
left
wow.
hand
Okay,
after him.
so, yeah,
Of course, the Morozov wasn't the Morozov today, but
right.
still, the guy is something else.
So he's from Kazakhstan? And what is that trip?
Kazakhstan, yeah.
What is that trip to Turkey? Is it hour and a half, 2 hours?
No,
What is
no,
it
no,
flight wise?
no.
It's further.
Probably minimum 5 hours.
Oh, 5 hours. Oh shit. It's a big
Probably,
world.
yeah.
I was gonna, say that it's tough for a big man like Cody too. You got to put, factor that in, that to travel, 18, 19, 20 hours from the States to Turkey like that and try to get on the right.
Yeah,
time
the
zone.
best side, but he's from the other side. Like the guys from New York side, 7-8 hours, they just directly
Right.
fly,
I'm not sure which is better though, because the matches that are Saturday night are kind of like our morning, which we should be wide awake, right? For the Kazakhstanians, I mean, it would be like pulling at 3, 4 in the morning, right? It's the other direction.
Yes. Like if he's pulling 10 o'clock, so it is like 1 a.m. If they are pulling 11 o'clock, it's 2 a.m. in Kazakhstan.
Right. So I'm not sure which is worse.
Ahead, yeah. And what do you think, Dan?
I think it's just, the Kazakhstan, they live, eat, and breathe, and, sleep with arm wrestling. And this guy is a full-time arm wrestler, right? From what we know.
I think he's working. The other day, he was telling me to send him something like invitation or something.
Oh, okay.
So the job would let him go, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And regardless, I think Cody is the underdog, and I think Alexander's going to take this. He's just too fast, too explosive. He has so many waves going in. And Cody, if Cody gets his hand and top roll him like that, yeah, Cody have a chance. But even with that, he can still flop wrist and do some other things.
I don't think so. I don't think he can beat Cody with flop wrist, but if he hooks him quickly, then anything possible, yeah.
Hey, look the way Rackley did to John, so you don't know that yet. You know what I'm saying? These guys, when they push the limit, you know what I'm saying? They will try.
Listen, I don't know that, but you don't know either,
Yeah, it seems to be the new thing, right? People will got it in the back of their mind, at least, that they can still possibly flop wrist press. I mean,
after we saw Irakli, in this world, anything is possible.
Oh, well, not even Irakli. Look at what Hermes did to Levon.
Yeah, but John, if anyone is thinking that was a success of flop wrist, it's wrong. The guy did tremendous back pressure, neutralized Levon's wrist. Levon only pronated. He didn't have any cupping.
Right.
And
then right. Yeah, for sure it wore him down. Yeah, the back pressure wore him down enough where that was successful. Yes. For someone to think that they could do that fresh against Levon is highly mistaken, right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, maybe Jerry, but for sure not that, because Hermes said that when he stopped him, I think round 3, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, let me do that directly," and then he got flashed.
Right.
because he didn't put any pressure to Levon's wrist, and Levon had the full wrist, so you need to really make the wrist tired.
Right.
So if you realize that he didn't have any cupping, he only overpronated like this. Yeah. And he was on his.
It's nice to know that Levon hanging out like this does wear out, though. I mean, it's kind of exciting for the rest of the arm wrestling.
Arm strength was right here.
Yeah. I've been saying it for years. I know Hermes is like
yeah. I'm very happy. Like 3-4 years ago, these guys were not really like, at that time. Hermes lost against Matt Mask. Everyone was making fun with him. Practice champion. Irakli was just like, he took 3rd place or second in the 75 kilo. Mindagos wasn't champion. I was talking about these guys to be the next superstars. And the last event, Mindagos pulled the title match. Irakli pulled against you. And now Hermes is 2nd in the world, looks like, right? And Eric, how do you see this match, Alijan versus Cody?
I think Cody's got a hard match. He's definitely the underdog. He's the nicest guy in the world, so I wish he would win. But I think it's going to be a tough match. I think he's probably like a 40% underdog.
Mhm. Okay, so let's go another one. Arif versus Desaranov, John. Desaranov is the guy that beat Kalinishenko and Wagner. He beat both of them 3-2. You remember? He almost.
I don't know. I can't even begin to comment on it. I don't know either one of these guys. I have no experience against them.
Arif is the one pull against Corey.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very impressive. I mean, from what I've seen against Corey, he's
So it's hard to gauge for you.
Yeah, impossible to gauge for me. I'm assuming, so I'm not going to comment. You know better than I do, Inge. It's going to be a good match.
Oh, yeah, but I invite you guys here. I can just come here without you guys and say, I'm curious about what you guys think, but it's normal, if you don't know much about them, it's hard to say something, You may say something, but it is just like.
Just completely out of the air.
I just say, I think this guy wins. Listen, John, for people like you, it is harder to predict a match that without knowing. It's easier for some other people that don't know much about, but just say like this guy wins, But for
at least I was there to visually see them live. I should be a little more of an expert than
Yeah, but hard to compare, because they didn't pull against the same guys and things like And Dan, how do you see this one?
Out of all day, too fast, way too fast. If you see the match against Kalichenko, Sergey was slow, and he finally get in there. But with Arrow, if it's the top row is so fast, even Corey is out of position so fast. Arrow's going to speed him 3-0, in my opinion. That's what I see.
I understand. Eric?
I don't know enough about the second guy. I've seen Arif on your events several times. He's very impressive, but I couldn't give a prediction. I'm like John.
You don't remember Desaranov, the pull East versus West 5? He pulled against Wagner Bortalato. He beat him 3.
Okay. Yeah.
The Kazakh guy that also beat same event. He beat Kalinishenko from Ukraine.
Okay.
Yeah, he was losing 2-0, and then he won 3-2.
It should be a good match. I'd say, it should be a very close match, but I wouldn't have a pick either way.
Is there a catch weight? Is there a catch weight? Is there a catch weight for those two? No, I'm saying, is there
no, it's super heavyweight.
Super heavyweight.
Yeah. So
there cannot be any limit. Arif is 150 kilo.
Yeah, exactly. And how much is Kalichenko? He's like 110, 115.
No, he will be around 125. But trust me, after certain weight, like it still helps, but most of that is overweight. You understand? Like not really. Not like.
I don't know, man. But somebody have a 70-pound overweight. That's a lot of weight. That's a big weight difference,
25 kilo. I think it's about 56 pounds. Yeah. And how do you see, John, Brandon Elsesor versus Samusha? We come into last 4 matches after this one.
Yeah, here again, I no experience pulling Brandon. I just seen what he's done lately against other people. It's a right-handed match, right?
Yes.
And this other David, he's the one that pulled Paulin the last time, right? Or no, that was the match before he pulled Babayev.
He pulled Paulin in May. He lost 3-2.
Right.
And then he beat Bojidar, and then he beat Daniel Prokopchuk.
Right.
And then last event he beat Craig Julier.
Julier, yeah. So obviously very strong, very formidable. Just depends on how good Brandon's coming in. I've seen him pull Jordan Sill, I'll top roll him. So if he's in good shape.
He top rolled Jordan Sill?
Yeah, if he's in good shape and he's top rolls on, I think he's got chances. But here again, don't know. Don't know enough. Yeah.
Trust me, John. Trust me.
I wouldn't be betting any money on either one of those guys.
Yeah, trust me, John. None of us know. That is why
that's the beauty of it.
We are bringing, yes, that's the beauty that we are bringing 2 wars, and then we are trying to find out, and
Right,
as you see,
right.
there has been many.
The problem is I don't know enough about them even to say, oh, in my mind I could see this happening or I could see that happening, because I just don't even really know, how they're going to even mesh that I could, a lot of the guys that I've had experience with, if I've had experience on both guys, I can say, oh, okay, well, this is the key to victory to this guy, because if he just does a little bit of this, he's going to be able to overwhelm this other guy. But in this situation, I just have no idea what their strengths and weaknesses are to see how that's going to go.
Yeah. And then,
So I see this, right? A lot of factor against Brendan, right? Overseas, first time on the big screen, jet lags, all that, and weight cut like crazy. I think he's walking in, he got cut like 20 something pounds to get to the beat time. So that's gonna all affect his endurance, his stamina, his mental state of mind. First of all, he has a king's move too against David, right? But you forget David is training with the Georgians. They know how to kill a king move. So in my opinion, David, is a heavy favorite in this matchup, because the weight cut alone is gonna kill him. He's like the 220 guy. I think he's walking around like 220. So my opinion, David.
I think he said that he's gonna cut
advantage.
like 10 pounds water in last moment, and then I can tell you the event is 187, but I guarantee you the guy will be minimum 205 on the event time.
He has to cut to 185, right?
87, yeah.
187. So that's about 20 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Water weight, I don't
He's
know.
gonna put that 20 pounds on. I guarantee. You will see.
I hope so. I mean, I'm rooting for the American, but it's a heavy favorite for Devin. Just all the styles, the weight cut and the different first time on a big stage. The jitters gonna get, the butterflies gonna get to you, and in my opinion, yeah, the Georgians have like very, they very together, they help each other, they study the move, and it's against Brandon at this point.
You were saying something, John, almost, or
No,
no?
I'm just
Okay,
observing.
Eric.
I think
Good
it's a little
points, by the
closer
way.
than
Good points,
Dung
by the
thinks.
way.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I think it's a little closer than Dung thinks. I mean, we've got some commonalities in Craig Tullier, and the Brandon Asselser Craig match was very close at the Monster Factory. But I think Brandon's the larger man, which hopefully after rehydration, helps him rather than hurts him with the cut. I would say David's probably still got a little bit of an edge in terms of who's the favorite, but I think Brandon's going to do better than what you think. Brandon's sticky. You can get him in losing positions, and he's hard to finish, it seems. So I'd say it's like 55-45.
Okay, living being, Engin putting on pounds after doesn't mean much when the cut kills you. Oh, thank you for education, my friend. I did cut weights for like 30 years, my friend. And trust me, I know a little more than you do about
I used to do it the wrong way all the time. I would starve myself for weeks, and like
yeah.
there's definitely a better way to do the tricking the body and flushing.
I was 187. I cut down to 143 at 2018 Worlds. From 187 143, I won the
Oh my
Worlds.
God.
I won the Worlds. So if you know how to do it, my friend, maybe privately reach me. I can tell you how to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
40 pounds.
let's go.
Wow.
Let's go to. Yeah, I love it when people are acting like I don't know shit about these things. Engin, you should know that. It's okay. Pauline versus Sasha, John.
Oh, if it goes inside, I think Paul's strong enough to possibly hang. I don't know if he's going to have the endurance that Sasha is going to have. I think Sasha's probably better built for a long, hard match in a hook.
Is there any possibility it will not be a hard match?
I don't think Paul is going to be able to top row
Finish
Sasha, because Sasha was able to control Rob. So I think his wrist cupping and wrist flexion is going to be enough to probably force the match to go inside. But Paul Lynn's still a beast even inside. He's obviously he's a few notches over even probably Ron Bath now. I mean, I think if he continues to get better, like I suspect he is continuing to get better, he's gonna be able to hang. He's gonna be able to hang with Sasha in a hook. I just don't know
if he
what
can finish or not.
the end game's gonna be. Who's gonna run out of gas first? He's in
John,
great shape, but I just
John,
think Sasha's
this guy
build
is
is
incredibly endurance, like explosive.
yeah.
Paul
He's super
is
explosive.
one of the like I
Yeah,
can't think
yeah,
anything
no,
more
Yeah, that's
explosive. Yeah.
So that's kind of a negative, right? Because no matter how great a shape someone's in, if you've got so much fast twitch like that, normally it falls off a little quicker than the guy that's the
But
marathon
how
runner.
about if he puts him opponent to out of position and bring him in a very bad position to not to allow him to survive
I
from there.
don't see anything being bad for Sasha. Sasha's going to stay tight no matter where the match goes after the go. I mean, I think he's compact enough to.
Whenever he loses in hook.
Yeah.
Like Zola beat him in hook, Ozan Koshak beat him inside. Like people, it is almost impossible to top roll him.
Top roll him.
Yeah, he just puts.
Maybe I give him more. Maybe I give him more credit than he deserves as far as his hooking ability. But boy, he just looking at his build, I think, boy, that's somebody that I definitely would not want to hook. He's just
you wouldn't want to hook him.
No, of course not. I would be fighting to the death to try to top roll him.
The top roll
maybe unsuccessful, but I would still be
in between.
always
Between is the best way. In between is the best way. Not deep hook, not totally outside. Because if you top roll him, you will be doing something that we haven't seen.
Not too
maybe what Onagarbaev a little bit, but he still beat him, I think. Yeah. No, I was thinking. Go ahead.
Paula needs to come in as strong as. I mean, I think the last time I saw Hutchins pull, Hutchins was able to blast through him. So yeah, I mean, if Paul's in good shape and ready to go, yeah, it'll be a good one. Yeah,
Todd beat him. Not wasn't flash, but a few surges. Yeah. I have a question for you. What did you think about Rustam versus Sasha match and Paul match? People are saying that Rustam was killing him, and the reason that Rustam lost is because of the injury, but people also need to consider that first two rounds where Paul attacked and the round 3 where he attacked were different, because I remember Paul trying to top roll you look at his face and beat him like this, and following round when he hooked you, next thing I remember
he's almost hurting me.
Your forearm is red.
No, he actually pulled a tendon in the upper part of my forearm, and the hook was so aggressive and violent. I mean, obviously Babayev's at his limit if he's getting hurt, right? So you can't take that away from Paul. I mean, just to say that Rustam was killing him and then just all of a sudden out of the blue got hurt. Well, you get hurt normally when you're exceeding what you're capable of doing.
I agree.
Yeah, Timmy, you said Pozgila and Kochak, but also Zola beat him in hook. Haji Murat, just remember 2019 what final? The last match in the final, not the qualification round. And how do you see this match done?
So Sasha beat Rob back then, right? And guess who felt Sasha after the match? It was Neil. So Neil pickup is a secret weapon, in my opinion. I'm just conspiracy theory here that Neil pickup knows how to pull Sasha. And who's friends with Neil? Paulin, and Paulin always seek people the elder advice. So in my opinion, Paulin has the edge against Sasha here because he seek other people's advice, mainly Neil, and he knows how to pull against Sasha. So in my opinion, if he just commit like he did against Rustam, I think he'll win. I think, in my opinion, Paulin has a better chance beating Sasha than Sasha has a better chance beating Paulin, because Sasha hasn't been around. He's been injured. He came back, so it's like what 6-7 months in the last pull. So yeah, stage fight's another one. And Paulin has too much information on him. So I think Paulin.
John, do you know this guy?
Morozov on the left. I don't know the guy on the right.
But do you see Morozov how he looks?
Yeah. He's a monster. Yeah, he's huge.
That's
exciting.
I saw
Getting,
that picture earlier today.
the guy is getting out of control.
Well, he's young yet. He's got room to build. He's got the
Yeah.
Looking
frame
like
for it.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, no, he's got the frame. He could be a 400-pounder easy.
And Eric, how do you see this match?
I think Paul's just got to commit to the hook. I think if you look at the commentary with Travis and Neil from the last event, they were just begging Paul round 3 to go in and just commit to the hook. And when he did, I mean, it injured Rustum, which is unfortunate. But I think, like John said, that has to mean that Paul took him to some sort of limit, for that to happen. So I think Paul has to have the belief in himself, and I think he can win that match.
Mm-hmm.
And
let's
by the
go
way,
to-
Paul Lynn
Yeah.
Paul Lynn is the nicest guy on the planet. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to divert for 1 second, Ingen, and just say the one thing that I think is the most attractive about the sport of arm wrestling is this right here. There's these superstars that, in my mind, are every bit as awesome as a football player, basketball player, and they're all approachable. I send Paul Lynn a message on Facebook. He messages me back. Ingen messages me. Neil does. I can chat with John. There's no other sport like this in the world. And I think that is a huge thing, a huge selling point to the community.
My friend, the thing is that maybe many of the basketball players, when they opened their eyes, they found basketball as like mainstream sport, while we, the people that you mentioned, are the ones that, coming from the root of the sport and are actually the people who are carrying the sport and their shoulders to this point. We have never been unreachable. We have never been.
Right.
Yeah. We are still like a family, we are this at least how I see it. And
Until
John,
you get 3 million followers. No.
and John, Laletin versus Tobias.
Oh, Tobias. He's one to pull Marcio, and Marcio, I think, outdid him.
He beat left arm. He pulled. This is a left arm match. He pulled Prudnik and topple Prudnik.
Oh,
And
Prudnik.
maybe you remember he pulled Morozov on the first event that you came here. When
Okay.
Morozov tried to topple him with left arm, he took Morozov's wrist and pinned him because his grip.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Vitali's got to be like
favorite.
He's like considered maybe top 2, 3 in the world in some people's minds, and maybe rightly so. But Tobias is got the same frame, is as big, is as tall. I mean, does that maybe
5
negate
inches
some
shorter?
Yeah. Oh, he's 5 inches shorter.
Yeah, one is 205, one is 205, the other one is 193.
Oh wow. I thought Tobias was a bigger guy. Is Tobias bigger than Vitali? No, Vitali still towers him.
Vitali is 205, 2 meters and 5 centimeters.
Okay.
And Tobias is 193.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but Tobias, I mean, there's not many people that have that type of height, size.
No. To me, he's a giant.
Yeah, he's a giant. So it'll be interesting to see if that takes away a little bit of Vitali's dominance over most people. So out of curiosity, that'll be interesting to see if he has to change up a little bit. But Vitali's got to be the big favorite, right?
Yeah. The interesting thing about these two athletes, they have the strongest grip strength in the arm wrestling community. They have the strongest squeezing ability. Of course, arm wrestling is not about that, but it is their grip is incredibly strong. Yeah.
Right.
And how do you see that done? Before you answer, tip out here. Many thanks to John for bringing so much enjoyment to my life. The greatest athlete in sports history. Thank you, Tip. This guy, John.
Appreciate that.
This guy. Do you know who this guy is?
No.
This guy, when he was a teenager, like probably 15, he was very strong in arm wrestling. And he loved arm wrestling so much. And one day he was working in a restaurant and his boss told him to come up and try with a guy arm wrestling. He arm wrestled the guy. He couldn't do much, but the guy told him that he was very good. He has good feature. And that
Mhm.
guy was Johnny Walker, the guy that,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Wow.
And this the sad story after this one, this guy was diving, and one day when he dived, he hit on his head and broke his neck.
Oh, shoot.
And he is now 62 years old, and he has been paralyzed from here down since that time.
Mhm.
And that makes me emotional to talk about this. But this
Right.
guy living with the love of arm wrestling since then.
Mhm.
And he says that he can't wait every day to check YouTube what's new in arm wrestling.
That's right. Right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. I mean, it's just like, to me, a big inspiration. The other day I said, Devin, you are probably the person who loves arm wrestling the most. But then I realized that this guy is the one
Yeah. There's
who loves
fans
arm
out there
wrestling.
that follow it even. Yeah. But
Yeah. Do you remember, John? Do you remember? I shared the other day, but do you remember that arm wrestler who inspires you and your answer on the Northeast message board? You don't remember, right? Everybody, we wrote that, like, who inspires you? Some said John, some said Cobra, some said this. And then you said the people who comes to tournaments and goes home most of the times to 0-2, like
and
winning
keep
any
showing
round
up. Keep showing
and
up with
showing up.
even
And
more
then,
attitude, right?
yeah, and they,
Yeah.
they kept competing and being part of the community. You said this on the Northeast message board. It was like a shocking, because everyone was focused on something else while you showed a different perspective. It has been almost 20 years. I never forget what you just said.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
You remember,
Yeah,
right?
and it's true. I mean, I try to put myself in their shoes, like, but then again, I think back to myself, like, those are probably the greatest times, is trying to establish a name for yourself and get that respect and be, at the bottom rung of the ladder and be able to look up and say, oh, I got it. It's a long way up, but I'm gonna, that's so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting to be those people.
Yes. Yeah, but
So I shouldn't be so inspired. Like, wow, why you got your butt kicked? How come you're back? But
yeah,
that's
they love it. They love it. Yeah, that's something that we probably cannot understand. But the only reason they are still part of it is purely 100% love that they
Mhm.
feel. Not that because of trophy, if they are not successful, nothing. Anyways, SG Records, keep Altier. God bless you, Roman says. And let's go. We were talking about the last 3 matches after this one. Dang, how do you see?
Experience. I think, in my opinion, experience, ligaments, right? Versailles has it all. So with all the endurance and all the experience that Vitaly have, I think Vitaly has this one. It's gonna come down to top row hold. Even if Vitaly is out of position, he can still hold him, in my opinion, and he's gonna outlast him. So I mean, Vitaly is fast, very fast too. If Tobias is very strong, fine, you're strong, but after you get him out of position, he can still hold you like he did with Dave Chaffee, and he'll outlast Tobias. So in my opinion, Vitaly wins this.
Okay, and you, Eric?
I'm going to go with Tobias just strictly because he's one of the favorite arm wrestlers for me personally that obviously I found by watching East versus West. So I'm going Tobias.
Okay, yeah, I like the new hopes.
I would like to see. Yeah, I mean, he commits to that hook enough where maybe he's tall enough and can control Vitaly in a hook and then do this little top roll move, and maybe Vitaly will be susceptible to that. Nobody's ever been able to do that to Vitaly because he's so damn tall. But maybe Tobias is the guy.
Like yeah, you try to get a guy who has a lever like this, not like this, but you up like this way against him. He top roll you all day long,
Okay, Todd and Oleg's love child, thank you for your super chat. In the world of arm wrestling, we are all John's guests. We love him dearly.
Oh, thank you.
And
that's true.
To say that.
Yeah. People really love you, John. Really loves you. Everyone
I
loves
have
you.
a question.
Okay.
You said earlier that somebody super chatted that John's the greatest athlete of all time, right? All sports.
Yeah. For me, yes.
Do you guys know who Chael Sonnen is?
Mhm.
UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Very
The guy
well spoken, super articulate guy.
like-
I love listening to him.
So I banter back and forth with Chael Sonnen, and I told him, I said, Chael, I've got a piece for you. How about the greatest athlete of all combat sports of all time that you may have never heard of. And he said, okay, lay it on me. I said, it's this guy from Illinois named John Brzenk. He's an arm wrestler. He's been dominating the sport for over 4 decades. And he was very, very intrigued. He's like, send me some more info. I might put together a piece on this. And I said, okay. So he came back to me a few days later and he says, why is Devin Lorette so damn popular? I said, well, that's a great question. So I just want to tease you guys that Chael Sonnen has taken a little bit of interest in John Brzenk. So keep your eyes peeled. There could be something.
That's very exciting. So yeah, I'm a big fan of his, just because he's so freaking articulate.
Is he not the one that, I think he's the best trash talker, right? That
Oh yeah, he's amazing with his. He's got a good mind. He's got a good head on his shoulders for sure.
Yeah. Very well spoken.
Yes, very well.
Yeah. Anyway, so last 3 matches. Dave Chaffee versus Revaz. John, let's go. They say that Revaz right now is.
Yeah, he's not gonna overwhelm Dave. He's not gonna be offensive. He's not gonna, Dave is, has been known to run out of gas. Dave, in my mind, is possibly, or if not the strongest arm wrestler offensively,
side pressure,
out of the gate. Yeah, pure. Yeah. Just he's going to take anybody and everybody. And I honestly even think if he's hooked up to Levon properly in the strap set, he could probably even possibly bring Levon out of position. I think Dave is that strong. The question is, can Dave finish? Can Revaz somehow hang on and
can he stop him here?
Put a little pressure on his hand and wrist. Dave's been known to be like Pushkar, just not have any regard for establishing a good safe position that he can outlast his opponent. He's red line, and his hand and forearm sometimes pump up to the point where he then ends up getting beaten later rounds. So I'm going to say Dave first round, second round easy, but just from the history, boy, Revaz has a chance. Maybe you could switch it around and make it a 3-2, right? So we've seen it before, but.
So you are saying that Dave is stronger, but
Dave
you
is
do
stronger.
not know if he can dominate all 3 rounds or not.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
And he's been so impressive and aggressive in winning the first 2 rounds many a times now, right? And then just faded enough just to lose the 3rd, and then it's all over. He loses the 4th, he loses the 5th.
Do you realize that where they brought Hermes with the start and where Levon brought Hermes is almost the same distance from the pad? The only thing is that Dave's wrist did not handle while Levon. So if you just put Levon's wrist on Dave's arm, he would probably.
Yeah, and Dave's got a tremendous hand. I mean, his hand and wrists are tremendous, but the problem is it's so much energy and they're so strong that it pumps him up. I mean, he's a race car. I mean, he's a dragster. He's one of those super strong, fast twitch guys that just doesn't have the long endurance muscles that he's got. I don't think he's got any slow twitch muscles in him.
I understand. Yeah. And you're done.
So I say this is Dave's game to lose. Dave's match to lose, in my opinion, because if he doesn't slip, he might get overwhelmed by Revaz. He needs to slip. He just gotta get on the strap, and he just knock him out off center and pin him. But if he underestimate him and try to hook him and without a strap, he's gonna get bent open, man. So
I don't think that they would underestimate anyone. Dave came to East versus West 3 times, lost all 3 matches. He cannot afford anyone. He cannot underestimate anyone, especially someone like Revaz.
Right, but he depends. He's confident in his hand and wrist, and he depends on it. And I think he takes chances that he possibly maybe should.
See? That's why I say that's one thing I'm worried about, right? That's number 1. Number 2 is Dave has a long rest. Mind you, all the match he has like maybe 6-week rest, maybe 4 weeks rest most. Now he has how many months already? So he's back and he's energized, he's strong. He's a favorite in my opinion. Dave's gonna win this. It's his game to lose. He has to slip. just goddamn the slip, man. Under, over, whatever. Just freaking slip and you win. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Definitely.
between the king of the table to Latin match to Hermes match was, yes, 7 months. It was exactly 50 days.
Yeah, exactly. So he got
Yeah.
a lot of time to rest. You get the time to rest. His muscles, ligaments coming back, and he just gotta get his slip game on. That's it, man.
No, I don't think I think he will just go all for 3 flash pins, you know. I don't think he's gonna play around anything. And what do you think, Eric?
I mean, I agree. I think that the time off probably did Dave some good. I think Dave's a pretty heavy favorite. I think 60-40. I think Dave should win the first 3 rounds pretty easily.
First 3 rounds is the whole match, anyways.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can-
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's go. Now the things are getting a little bit heated up. Irakli versus Onagarbaev, John.
Well, I mentioned earlier what I feel about that. I think Irakli is more explosive.
John, can I
has-
cut you quickly? Yesterday, I had Irakli and Onagarbaev as my guests. And
Mhm.
I asked Irakli, like, you kind of made a mistake and depended on your horsepower so much and forgot about controlling against John. Did you learn it? He said, yeah, he took lessons and he is more focused on positioning and, you know, controlling than just going like crazy to do pin pad, you know. This is what he said. So maybe after hearing this, you may have.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope that lesson doesn't backfire on him with Onagarbaev, because I feel like what he did to me is something that he needs to do with Onagarbaev. He needs to be very aggressive. I think Onagarbaev definitely has the advantage with the endurance. So Irakli needs to be so aggressive, establish and be confident enough to do a little bit of establish a good cup. When I established that cup with Onagarbaev, the top roll came pretty easy, but you have to be very aggressive with it. If Irakli doesn't hit off the go, I mean, and Onagarbaev can stop it anyway and manipulate it at any time, any point.
But hit where? To pin pad?
Onagarbaev, I don't
Hit
think it
to
matters
control.
anywhere. I think if Onagarbaev can somewhat stop the way I stopped directly, even in a bad position, it's going to tilt heavily towards Onagarbaev. Irakli is going to need to finish the matches quickly, like he beat Marcio. Like
He cannot top roll. He cannot top roll Onagarbaev.
Yeah, no, he can top roll him, but establishing the cup more than just hitting hard outside. If he just hits hard outside with a flat wrist, then I think Onagarbaev will take control of that. Will be able to manipulate that. So he needs to cup a little bit to get Onagarbaev's hand to be, like I mentioned with Devin. I mean, it needs to be the palm needs to be turned up a little bit. But yeah, I think Irakli, I don't know if Irakli, I didn't really test either one of them in a hook. Irakli's got chances. It's a great match. It's going to be super close. Even if Irakli wins the first 2, I still wouldn't count Onagarbaev out. I'm going to still say, oh shit, still not over. It's still Onagarbaev's to win.
Are you planning to watch the event?
Oh, of course. I will.
Okay.
Of course.
And okay, you are a better. I know that you like to bet. I'm not asking you to bet against me. I'm just saying, if you had money, where would it go?
I'd have to lean just slightly to Onagarbaev. Kurdigali, I think, is going to somehow figure it out. Will win.
Is there any possibility exactly to beat him like this?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if Kurdigali will wear out like I did. He didn't with Michael, so I suspect that he'll be better equipped to withstand that wrist press than I was able to. So I don't think Irakli will be successful doing that against Kurdigali.
So he better go outside.
Better hit hard, hit fast, You know,
Mhm.
obviously, I think it's going to go into the straps, but it's going to require a little bit more commitment of establishing that cup instead of just hitting completely, you know, high knuckle straight back. Going to be a good one. Going to be a good one.
Yep.
I
And you,
think Orekli is the favorite as far as blasting off the go. I think he was more powerful initially. You know, comparing the
but it
two
depends
guys.
on what kind of position he will put Peter after.
Yeah,
the
he just
start.
needs to be able to finish him quickly. Even if he's not able to finish him quickly, then I'm going to say, oh shoot, Onagarbaev is going to be better equipped to win the second match, the third match. I mean, Iraqi not only has to win quickly, you know, has to win quickly and cleanly. First match, second match, third match. If it stops at any point, even, you know, third
Yeah, but
match.
John, what if Irakli puts Peter in a bad position? In such position, Onagarbaev, if he fights, I think he will be the one who is exhausted. It like when we say like this guy has better endurance, yes, but it depends on in round one
Yeah,
what
of course.
position this guy is, you know,
Of course,
pulling. Yeah.
but I even in that scenario, I still think Onagarbaev is going to be able to outlast. You know, if it goes a long distance match, it'll be Onagarbaev's to win. Then
Do you realize that when you beat Onagarbaev round one, after you get your position, he wasn't able to resist?
no.
Yeah.
He wouldn't-
Yeah,
he
and
went away.
normally Onagarbaev can resist in every position, but I think that he couldn't. You took him, and then he wanted to hook you. When he tried to
Right.
hook you, he totally gave his tornado to you, and you caught him fully, and
Right.
it was just, yeah. And you, Dunk?
You asking the guy who put them both. I go with John's opinion all day long. I mean, there's nobody else. There's nobody else that can predict this match better. John pulled both of them. He knows their weakness and their strength. So if they smart, they listen to this podcast or they call John personally for advice. So I go whatever John say, in my opinion, because I think John knows exactly how to pull these two, and they know how to win each other. So they just swallow their pride and call John up for advice and just stick to that advice, man. That's it.
I don't really have any
would listen
advice.
to John. I
I
would
wouldn't
listen
have
to
any
John, but
advice
I
for
would.
either one of them.
I would listen to John, but I would never rent my mind to anyone. I would listen, hear, take it, and mix it with what I know. I would never totally give, because
Right.
it's important of
can.
what I am capable of as well. John knows Irakli, but he doesn't know Irakli better than Irakli knows himself, you know. Yeah. And Eric, you?
Super close match. Both very impressive. I think Kittergali probably has just the slightest of edges, you know. He just always seems so cool and calm and collected at all points. And I just think he'll get the win.
Yeah. And John, before we go to the last match, were you very impressed the way that Onagarbaev pulled against Michael? I was amazed the way how he was patient, where he attacked, where he stopped, how he countered. Because you pulling against Michael Todd. Michael Todd, I don't know why people just talks like negative about him. This guy is one of the hardest guy to pull against, you know. Yes,
Right.
he may have lost against this guy or that guy, but not many people can play a chess game with him. And Onagarbaev is a light heavyweight guy that who never pull against someone like Michael to counter everything, where to wait, where to attack, how to move, the versatility. How did what they were you impressed about his
Super
performance?
impressed. Yeah, I mean, you knew my opinion of that match going in. I thought Michael for sure
Michael was
going
gonna win. Is what you were saying.
for sure. I thought Michael was going to win. I had
Yeah.
no doubt that Michael was going to. In fact, I lost $100 betting against Devin that Michael on that match. So
Wow.
yeah, no, it's that really surprised me. Very impressive. Made me feel actually really good that I didn't get beat by somebody that Michael would smash. That he
Yeah,
ended up beating
I
Michael.
think his table IQ is up there.
And he's got obviously a lot of time on the table. He can pull for probably hours. I mean, his endurance didn't seem to fade at all.
Yeah,
as
yesterday
far as the
somebody
match.
asked with the super chat. They said, answer honestly, Onagarbaev, you also were Aldo guest, right? He said that
Oh,
like
yeah.
against Michael, and he said no, he could pull.
he was good. He would.
Yeah, he was
fine,
good. He
yeah.
said he could pull
Was-
more and more. So that's another scary thing about him. And he said he wants to pull Devin. And I said, which category? He said 115. I want to get big 115. And he says he believes in his endurance. He just needs some time. And he says that it would be an incredible match. And I think that I'm not sure that if he can beat Devin or not, but I'm 100% sure he will give much better match than Evgeny gave to, because Evgeny likes to have full control and arm wrestle. Once he's out of position, he didn't seem so effective. But I have seen Onagarbaev pulling against Alex Kurdesha like this. We saw how he pulled against Michael. So this guy, I think that as a chess game, he will be the best opponent maybe for
Yeah, for
Devin.
sure. For sure.
And
Absolutely.
Ingen, in
No
the
He's
in
like
the
John
Michael
Brzenk.
Todd versus Ungarbaev match, I think it was round one, Michael won, right? And
Yeah.
I think it was round two was one of the best rounds of arm wrestling I've ever seen. It was so back and forth between those two.
Mhm.
I believe it was round two, if I'm not mistaken. I mean,
Mhm.
go back and watch that. That was just a brilliant round.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Counter
Very
moves. Yeah, it was
Yes,
unbelievable.
yes. Like I was like this, like a chess game. Like
Yeah.
you can't see anything better. Michael was just switching up to shoulder pressure, and he was rising up to not to
Mhm.
allow that. He was waiting here in a position that he has the left. It's the same position when you beat Michael. You came here. Remember, you were
Yeah,
resting.
and typically Michael has tremendous endurance and he's in the tip top shape for Criticality to outlast him like he did and outmaneuver him. Very
Yeah.
super impressive.
Yeah, and interesting thing is that Michael is pulling all kind of people, but people are pulling only Michael to experience such things. There are not out there. There are not many. So Michael is experienced about pulling against anything, against hook puller, side pressure, top roller, everything. So he is just 100% like experienced. But the other guy, when you never pull someone like Michael, you don't really know what to do. Yeah.
Right.
Anyways,
Michael
the
looks like he's
last match.
getting all of his range of motion back.
Yeah, the last match, John. Devin
Well,
versus Kennedy.
yeah, no, I mean,
Let me start with the question. Just go 2021 December, round one. The match started. You brought Devin here,
mhm,
and Devin was like this
mhm,
much from the pad.
mhm.
And even Devin thought that there was a moment that if John would switch the shoulder pressure, and he could beat me. Imagine, ready, go. If somehow Gennady brings him there, and you know how Gennady can,
Yes,
is there any possibility?
oh, absolutely. If the 2021 version of Devin that I pulled shows up to pull Gennady,
No, Gennady would beat him.
Gennadi's
Yeah.
going to beat him. But
No, but
here,
what I'm just saying.
but
that
I
now
know,
stronger Devin will
oh,
come. But
yeah,
trust me, stronger Gennady will come. So I'm assuming that Gennady also stronger than 2021 December John Brzenk.
yeah. Well, yeah, I don't see that. I haven't seen that with Gennady's matches. He's struggled and he's had a hard time. Yes, he beat Dave. He squeaked by Dave. He failed against Jerry. Devin is on another level right now. And Devin, in my mind, from what I felt just months ago, is not the same Devin that I pulled in 2021. So
Is there any possibility it may not be the same Gennady that we saw because of
I guess
Devin match?
it's a possibility, I guess. But
Because it's all about the preparation of
Sure.
certain opponent. If you are pulling Devin, this like lifetime shots,
So the problem with Devin, going up against Devin, I mean, Gennady can be stronger, bigger, wider, shoulders, biceps, triceps, but it's still so hard to make your frame grow. He's still going to have the same. I know Devin's been teasing about his hand size, the same build, the same hand. Form is going to be still just very limited. Yes, all those big muscles can get bigger and stronger, but I think the key to beating Devin is having a super strong cup, a super strong hand, and
Do you think that
wide,
when he
thick
is like
form.
this, there is no possibility to,
I don't see that
You don't?
happening. I don't see that happening. So Devin,
so Devin, that you are saying that Devin is gonna dominate him 3-0?
yes.
I understand.
Yeah, he'll be able to put enough pressure on Gennadi's hand that after the first round it'll be done. He'll be shut down. If Gennady somehow can establish strong enough hook to get, be able to use his power, then yes, I mean, Gennady could win a match or two, but even then that's going to take enough out of him that it's going to be hard to complete, to go through 6 rounds.
Do you think that Devin is gonna put Gennady to that helpless position that he put Prudnik later rounds?
Yeah, I think Devin, once Devin knows that his opponent is blown up, that he can do anything and everything,
But
then
do
he
you think
becomes
that Gennady will be in such case?
Yeah, I think Gennadi's build is somewhat like Dave. He's a race car. He's gonna wear out really quick. He's gonna expend a lot of energy.
Gennady is one
out
of the
gate.
best endurance guy in the world,
Is he?
John.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just go by what I see and the type of build that he is, that I just don't see him. He's not the lanky guys that would be able to complete a mile anytime soon. But
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. And you, Dan?
Oh yeah, I'm saying this is a battle of bone versus muscle, right? Devin got strong bones, and he's gonna use his bone and his frame against muscle of the Gennady. Gennady can do whatever he wants. He lost in a hook against what is it? Jerry. He tried to hook Jerry round 3, and Jerry just blew through him. If Devin commit his frame, how is Gennady gonna win? And he's
You
gonna
are
go
thinking
outside.
that Devin is gonna go inside with him?
Yeah, he will go inside with him. Yeah, I
You
think
think
he'll go
round
inside
one,
because
round one
he
is gonna
saw.
go inside with him?
No, not round 1, but I'm saying like
Now
maybe
after
round 2.
exhausted, it's a different thing, You are telling
Yeah,
me that we're talking about fresh guys meeting, You're telling us after Gennady exhausted and then put in the shoulder, this. I'm talking about how the fresh match is gonna. After you exhaust the guy, you can't even lift him from the pad. It's a different thing.
right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But
Hey,
you got
you
a
wanna
good point there. Yeah, and yeah. Devin will not go in the hook early game. No, he's gonna go up in hook roll again. But once Devin get the hook, I mean, power bone is bone against muscle, right? Devin using his bone, his tendon, his ligament against Gennadi's muscle. Which one gets higher more?
Mhm.
So in my opinion, Devin's wins. Just like John said, Devin wins all day. In my opinion, he got bigger
understand.
goals.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna do Dave Chaffee and then Hermes and then Levon. Just kidding. All right.
Eric,
And
how
don't
did-
forget Saplinkov. He's gonna go against Dennison.
Yeah, Dennis too. Yep, Dennis in October. Yeah, but I'm saying in between there could be Dave Chaffee and then Dennis.
and you, Eric?
I lean towards Devin. I'm just happy you got him on East versus West and brought him out of these year-long gaps in polling. I think Devin polling often is great for the world. I think Devin probably wins, not easily first round, but I think he drains Gennady enough that he can humiliate him in the next 2 rounds. Unfortunately, that's just the way Devin is. He'll make you quit. He's a soldier and he goes to war every time. He's very unique in his mindset, I think, compared to most people. He really does seem like he's willing to truly die every match, which I think is pretty crazy. So I'll go with Devin. Yeah, I think he's probably the heavy favorite in my opinion.
Yeah, when you talk about the humiliating him or something, I really need to have a talk with those guys before the event that this is all only arm wrestling, because those guys are getting a little bit aggressive.
Right.
I need
We
to talk.
don't want
I
a
don't
war
want.
start out with war between Canada and Georgia.
Yeah,
No,
I hope not. I hope
I
not. I hope not.
I
There
doubt
will
it,
be
Engin.
Levon will be there. Revas will be there. We don't want
Right.
such thing. We want. I will make sure that this is only arm wrestling. That's only for, because I always hype their matches, but
Yep.
then after a point, I realized that, like, not from the Devon's side, but from the other side, things may be taken more seriously, cultural differences. So I
Yeah.
will need to sit down with them and I say, listen, you know, this is not Canada, this is not Georgia, you are in Turkey. So please, you know, just arm wrestle, shake hands, you know, be as aggressive as you can be at the table without any other thing than arm wrestling, you know. And John, the last two thing I will ask you, Jerry Kadoret Hermes, July 29th, Istanbul, East versus West 8. Hermes is your boy, I know that.
Yeah, I can't go against Hermes. I think he's number 2 in the world. I think Jerry is going to be very surprised at what kind of arm strength Hermes possesses. But Hermes could, you know, over top roll him, and if Jerry gets jammed in there, I could see it being a little bit of a struggle for Hermes. But I think Hermes is actually strong enough to make that commitment to shoulder roll into Jerry.
John, I have a question. When I said that you said if Gennady tries to go outside, you said, Engin, you will see that, you know, Jerry is gonna beat him, and you were right about it. And the question is, do you think that Hermes can beat Jerry with fully outside move, or he needs to do as you guys doing the spinated side pressure type of thing, or you think that in any way he can beat him?
Yeah, no, I think I see it happening 2 ways. Hermes is just smart enough and strong enough not to completely run away from Jerry and just hit him side pressure to take Jerry away from his shoulder roll. But I also think Hermes can also rock back into a defensive position and top roll Jerry completely, where Jerry gets jammed in there, and also then be able to be
Climb up.
patient enough. And then, well, he's not going to beat him outside. If he tries to continue to beat him outside,
yeah, but bring
he's
the shoulder.
he can commit his shoulder. We've seen him against the,
So you are
Chaffee.
saying that even the match goes to here, there is still chance for Hermes to recover from that position.
Hermes to be able to turn it, you know, with a shoulder roll at the end.
I understand. There is a super chat. Roman says Gennady pulled Levan non-stop hook for 60 seconds. I don't remember Devin pulling hook that long, he says. Also, Silky Wilkie, my friend, yesterday I missed your super chat. I didn't see it. It was just, you sent it right before I closed the podcast. So sorry about it, my friend. Very sorry. And John, the last one is Levan versus Morozov. Do you think that Morozov, I talked with Morozov, you know, Morozov beat Revas. You remember East versus West 5, but the guy was pulling every 2.5 months from February till December. You understand, nonstop. The guy was exhausted. Also Revas probably, but he has been training since that time. He's totally healthy. He's young, and he said that he will be minimum 140, 145 kilos. He is planning to be 320 pounds.
Mhm.
He told me that even now he's 25% stronger with the weights and everything that he's lifting than the time that he beat Revas. And he still have 3-4 months. You saw his pictures recently. The guy is just getting. Is there any possibility this guy to travel?
I think the world of arm wrestling, and maybe even Levan, hopes that's the case. I mean, I think everybody hopes that that someone can give Levan a match. I mean, including Levan. I think, hopefully that he's able to. Hopefully he's big enough and strong enough, and you know, he definitely has the frame if his hands is strong. In fact, his frame is probably bigger than Levan's, right? So, yeah, I mean, for sure,
Yeah.
we all hope it, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And not that I'm against Levan. I love Levan. Levan was great at King of the Table. He's a great guy, but it's just so, you know, it's disappointing. I think even for him that he needs the competition. I mean, sure, he's probably wanting the competition. So
yeah. But
John, you've been there, right? You've been lonely up there.
Yeah, no.
You've been there in the past. You've been lonely up there, so you know how he felt. He's feeling right now.
Some people tells me, like, even when they set the Hermes versus Levan match, oh, why did you set this match? You know, he's gonna kill him, give him another 2 years, or like the same thing they are now repeating. And from same time they are saying that Engin, why Levan doesn't pull more often. But for sure, Morozov is one of those guys that deserves a shot, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course. Of course.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so this is the last question I wanted to ask. Eric, thank you very much, my friend, for joining. You guys want to say something lastly?
Yeah, you go first. You go first.
Oh yeah, I mean, just thank you, Ingen. Thank you, John. Really appreciate the opportunity. Obviously, I'm sure this was the one that most people wanted to be on, without a doubt, to be on with John Brzenk. Him and Devin, I'm sure, are probably your most requested. So I feel very honored and blessed.
Yeah, it's a cool format, Ingen. This was cool.
Yeah.
So how did you choose these two guys? Are they super
Oh,
bugging
Eric,
you or emailing you or what?
we just set the date only yesterday, John.
Okay.
And-
Like,
and-
would you have a
Eric-
lottery? You pull a number out and say, "Oh, you're up."
No, I just go
Oh,
like
okay.
by, yeah. And
Okay.
Dang is one of our VIP sponsors from this
Okay.
event.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right.
And yeah, and Dang, you want to say anything lastly
Yeah,
before we end?
Listen, this sport is growing, and John, I wish you grow your brand. You know, like I say, you can make passive income, $2,000 a week, maybe $1,000 a week without doing anything. Just have somebody do it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That money will grow you, and you deserve the money, man. 50 years arm wrestling.
Right.
Make that brand. You want to build your brand. Just go with it, you know. And I think
I've already forgotten what it was. What was it? Goat something? What was it? Goat, great goat, or what was it? What was it?
a goat T-shirt. It's called, I forgot. I think it was they called goatee, something like that. The goatee.
No. Somebody just said something. There was a super chat that the guy was
I
saying.
thought it was really good, but I've already forgotten what it was.
Yeah.
See, you gotta write it down, John. You gotta
We need to check it from the super
Right.
the live chat. We will find it.
Yeah,
And
you
John,
John,
you hit me up, John. I work for GoDaddy, a company in Arizona. And so we do websites and marketing, everything. If you ever get serious, you just let me know.
Right. No, I've had
There you
I've
go.
had, yeah.
See? I'm sure there's many people who wants to help you, John. You just gotta, hey, listen,
Accept it. Right.
I'll take 60, you take 40, or I take 50, you take 50. But you don't have to do any work. You don't do anything. Just focus on your
hey
thing.
John, we start talking business.
I'm willing. I'm able. I'm here. Come
There you
find
go.
me.
See? Hey,
John.
that's what I want. I want all these, go to start building their brand, make the money. That's how you
Yeah.
grow.
No,
your
it's
sport
important.
too.
It's important
Okay,
for the sport as a whole, for sure. I mean,
Yep.
yeah.
And that's how
John.
I know England about do this, the VIP thing. I want to support the event. I want to support the athletes, and that's how I got through it, because you guys advertise yourself and promote yourself.
Yeah.
So John, you're slacking there.
Ingen's got a lot more energy than the rest of us, so he's.
It depends. It depends. If you whenever I hear motivating things, and then I'm like, okay, yeah. So listen, people think that John, I'm doing this like all for business or something, but my passion from decades ago, right, John?
Well,
Like
I need a comment. I even noticed that your camera must be better or something. Your backdrop's better. The image is better. You figured out HD now. What do you got going on? Everything's way better. It almost looks professional, like a professional studio you're in.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, again,
I'm on a
you.
couch, you just
Well, from my perspective, I guess your shirt matches your couch. It looks good. The backdrop looks good. You don't have the red curtains behind you.
Last 5 years, the same couch, and this is
Okay.
my phone with Warsaw camera, so I use my wife's phone
Oh, okay.
for better
Gotcha.
camera.
Gotcha. Better camera.
By the way, East versus West stage misses you, and hope to see you here again. Do you enjoy East versus West, John?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's it's tremendous. I wish you mentioned something that I don't know if you're going to do one in July. I would love to be a part of it again, but maybe we'll have to wait until October.
If I set you a match, I need to set Todd Hutchings as well, so that it will be equal. You both are having a match 2 weeks before.
Have his match be way tougher than my match. My match needs to be like I've lost my last 3 matches. I can't be losing 4. I think it's the last 3.
You didn't lose the last 2 matches. You beat Petrenko.
Yeah,
I got beat by Dennis. I got beat by Onagarbaev and Erectly. But I did win Petrenko in there. So
Petrenko, you beat Petrenko, yeah.
Okay.
But listen, I will tell you something. If you didn't have those breathing problems and things, I cannot say anything about Dennis match. Dennis match is not even same category when there is this guy is a heavyweight category while you are like
Yeah.
like he's super heavyweight while you are like light heavyweight. So it is a legacy match.
So what do you think my chances are against Voboda? I got no chance. I shouldn't even show up.
I think that you have very good chance, but you need to go outside. If you go to hook, you did the same thing when you tried to hook him in 2004. You know, you went up like this.
Yeah.
I think that your pronator, as of now, they're pulling. At that time, John, you were just full like risk commitment. You know,
Right.
You didn't really pull. You developed it later on, like this, and then beating him. If you keep his wrist neutralized like this, and then that you will have incredible match. But not sure how strong his wrist is. We will see.
I just hope I can surprise him a little bit, but
Don't come
better
there to a
match than
little
I
bit.
did.
Just come there for a full surprise, you know.
I say you kill him.
Sounds
You
good.
kill him,
Sounds
John.
good.
Your
Good, man.
activity
Yes.
has to give you an edge.
Remember, pulling John, not picking John, man. Remember
Right.
that. You know, have that mentality, John. I mean, next time somebody think about your name, they gotta take it serious. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can twice.
Anyways,
All right,
thank
guys.
you guys. Thank you guys, John.
Thanks,
It took a long
Megan.
time.
It's always
Thank
a
you very
pleasure.
much for your patience and time. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Eric. And thanks
Thank
to
you.
everyone
I'm
who
honored.
watched.
All right.
Take
Thank you
care,
so
All right,
much,
guys.
guys.